The rumination loop. Rumination is the mental habit of replaying the same thoughts over and over again, like a broken record stuck on the worst song imaginable. For women over 60, this typically involves dwelling on past events, conversations that went wrong, or decisions that cannot be changed. Your brain picks a moment from 3 weeks ago when you said something awkward at dinner and decides that 3 a.m. is the perfect time to replay it in excruciating detail. The mechanics of rumination are brutal. When you engage in repetitive negative thinking, your brain activates the same neural pathways associated with actual stress. Your body cannot tell the difference between reliving an embarrassing moment and experiencing it in real time. So your heart rate increases, your cortisol spikes, and your nervous system switches into high alert mode. Sleep becomes physiologically impossible because your body thinks it is dealing with an active crisis. Research shows that rumination among older adults directly predicts poor sleep quality that same night. The more you ruminate during the day, the more fragmented and disrupted your sleep becomes. What makes this particularly vicious is the feedback loop it creates. Poor sleep increases rumination the following day, which then worsens sleep the next night, trapping you in a cycle that feels impossible to escape. Women are especially vulnerable to rumination because they are more likely than men to engage in this type of reflective thinking. The quiet darkness of night removes all distractions, leaving nothing but you and your thoughts. Without external stimulation to redirect your attention, your mind latches onto unresolved emotional content and refuses to let go. The past becomes more vivid than the present, and sleep disappears entirely. Catastrophic thinking and future anxiety. Catastrophic thinking is the mental process of automatically jumping to the worst possible outcome in any situation. Your granddaughter mentions she has a headache, and within seconds your brain has diagnosed her with a brain tumor. Your retirement account drops slightly, and you immediately envision yourself homeless and destitute. This is not rational analysis. It is your mind manufacturing disasters that do not exist. This thought pattern becomes significantly more intense at night, especially as you age. During the day, your brain is occupied with tasks, conversations, and activities that keep catastrophic thoughts at bay. But when you lie down in darkness, all those imagined worst-case scenarios rush to the surface with nothing to stop them. Your mind begins constructing elaborate disaster narratives about your health, your family's safety, your financial future, and your mortality. The anxiety generated by catastrophic thinking triggers a powerful physiological response. Your amygdala, the brain's fear center, activates as if the imagined threat were real and immediate. This signals your adrenal glands to release adrenaline and cortisol, preparing your body to fight or flee from danger that exists only in your imagination. Your heart pounds, your breathing becomes shallow, and your muscles tense. Sleep is no longer an option because your body believes it is protecting you from imminent harm. Women over 60 face unique triggers for catastrophic thinking. The reality of aging brings legitimate concerns about declining health, losing independence, or outliving your savings. These are real possibilities, but catastrophic thinking transforms reasonable concern into paralyzing terror. Instead of thinking, I should plan for future medical needs, your brain spirals into, I will die alone in unbearable pain with no one to help me. Breaking this pattern requires recognizing catastrophic thoughts as mental events, not factual predictions. When your mind generates a disaster scenario at 3 a.m., it is not providing useful information. It is simply a thought pattern your brain has learned to execute automatically, and it can be unlearned with consistent practice. The control paradox. The control paradox is one of the cruelest tricks your mind plays on you when you cannot sleep. It works like this. The harder you try to force yourself to fall asleep, the more awake you become. Sleep is not something you can achieve through willpower or effort. It is a passive process that happens when you stop trying. But when you wake up at 3 a.m., your brain panics and attempts to control the uncontrollable. You start monitoring yourself obsessively. You count how many hours of sleep you have left before morning. You calculate how exhausted you will feel tomorrow. You try different positions, adjust your pillow 17 times, and mentally command yourself to relax. Each of these actions increases arousal and pushes sleep further away. Your well-intentioned attempts to fix the problem become the problem itself. This thought pattern is especially common in women over 60 who have spent their entire lives solving problems through determination and effort. You raised children, managed households, built careers, and handled crises through sheer willpower. So when sleep becomes difficult, your instinct is to apply that same approach. You create sleep schedules, read articles, buy special pillows, and convince yourself that if you just try hard enough, you can force your body to cooperate. But sleep does not respond to force. The more you chase it, the faster it runs. The more you worry about not sleeping, the more your nervous system stays activated. Your brain interprets your efforts to control sleep as evidence that something is wrong, which triggers vigilance and keeps you awake. You become hyper-aware of every sound, every sensation, and every passing minute, which makes genuine relaxation impossible. The solution requires surrendering control entirely. Instead of trying to make sleep happen, you must create conditions that allow sleep to occur naturally. This means accepting that some nights you will sleep poorly, and that is not a catastrophe. It means letting go of the pressure to fall asleep immediately and trusting your body's innate ability to regulate itself when given the right environment. Hypervigilance and the vigilance circuit. Hypervigilance is a state of heightened alertness where your brain constantly scans for threats, even when none exist. For women over 60, this often develops after years of being responsible for others' safety and well-being. You spent decades monitoring children, caring for aging parents, managing households, and anticipating problems before they occurred. Your brain learned that staying alert keeps everyone safe. Now, even when there is nothing left to monitor, your nervous system refuses to stand down. At night, hypervigilance transforms into what sleep researchers call the vigilance circuit. This is a neurological pattern where part of your brain remains awake and watchful even while you attempt to sleep. You become acutely aware of every noise in the house. A car passing outside jolts you awake. Your partner's breathing sounds too loud. The refrigerator hums differently than usual. Your brain treats each of these ordinary sounds as potential threats requiring immediate attention. This thought pattern also manifests as anticipatory anxiety about sleep itself. You go to bed expecting to wake up at 3 a.m., so your brain obligingly fulfills that expectation. You worry about not sleeping before you even close your eyes, which activates your stress response and guarantees the insomnia you feared. The vigilant circuit keeps you stuck in a perpetual state of readiness, as if relaxing completely would invite disaster. Women who spent years as caregivers are especially prone to this pattern. Your brain developed a finely tuned threat detection system that served you well when others depended on you. But now that your responsibilities have shifted, your nervous system has not received the message that it is safe to rest. It continues operating as if emergencies could occur at any moment, keeping you in a state of exhausting readiness that prevents deep restorative sleep. Breaking the hypervigilance pattern requires retraining your nervous system to recognize safety. This means practicing progressive muscle relaxation to teach your body what true rest feels like. It means using grounding techniques that anchor you in the present moment rather than scanning for future threats. And it means consciously reminding yourself that you are safe, your loved ones are safe, and nothing requires your immediate vigilance at 3 a.m. in the morning. There's a great video on the screen now. Don't miss it, okay?